Hi, this is Mary Newman with A Productive Endeavor, and I am here with one of my favorite books of all time, a life-changing book that I highly recommend to any person who has a cell phone and children and family and friends and have any sense of guilt or anything. This is an excellent book. It is called Hands-Free Mama, written by Rachel Macy Stafford. She's also online. Her blog is incredible. Her Facebook page inspiring. Highly recommend that you follow her. Normally when I read a great book, I love to share a recap and do like a little book report here. But this book was so life-changing, I've decided to take you chapter by chapter through the book, share specifically what I've learned and just some highlights of the book itself. But of course, I still recommend it. I'm not even going to touch a quarter of what she discusses. It's just such an incredible book. So it's going to be a 12-part series. I'm doing this not just for you and to be helpful, but also for myself. This really has convicted me to live better. And I hope someone else might find just some sort of inspiration from this. With summer coming, I want to spend quality time with my children, and I want to be a better example to them. I know I'm not alone on this. So this book is called Hands-Free Mama, with this on the cover, a guide to putting down the phone, burning the to-do list, and letting go of perfection to grasp what really matters. Personally, I'd call it paying attention to people around me. It's about engaging in purposeful connections and no longer living distractedly. If it's not about making you feel guilty about using your cell phone, it's simply about being intentional about when you are using them and when you are not. I want to stop this halfway living I feel I've been doing. I'm tired of being distracted. I've been trying to live more intentionally for some time, but this book pointed out what I need to work on, things I glossed over and ignored, things I accepted as modern living, and I'm betting a lot of you are like that. I think some things I honestly had no idea were an issue. Why oh why do I seek to be entertained by the internet when there are people right in front of me willing to talk and spend time with me? I claim I love my kids and husband more than anyone else in the world, but why am I constantly choosing others over them? I have not been giving my family the best of me. Just in the introduction, I realized that I was very distracted by many things, mostly online. I need to address the issues I have, confess them, and ask God to help me focus on things that really matter. I actively need to make effort and change the way I live each day. So chapter 1 is called Acknowledge the Cost of Your Distraction, Awareness. So what I learned, I had a persistent feeling of unease because I've been living so distracted. That was on page 19. Literally, I am a very anxious person, so this was very enlightening to me. Going hands-free doesn't mean you give up technology. It means controlling when and how much you use it. It means giving life a conscious effort. I love this book because she gives actual tips on how to be more focused and intentional, and got me thinking with questions like, what daily distractions prevent me from being fully present with the people I love? What actions can I take to reduce or eliminate one or more of these distractions? I'm definitely distracted by social media like Facebook. It has a weird time-sucking feature I can't quite figure out. So I decided to change how I use it in 2 ways. One, it's not good for me to simply say that I'll go online when my husband's at work and my kids are at school. I want to get things done around the house while they're gone. Then when they're home, I can give them all of me rather than catching up on things that I really could have done earlier, like dishes and cleaning. I realized that the time between supper and the kids' bedtime is very precious to my family. This is really the only time in the whole day that we can connect as a family. So my husband and I are working at being completely gadget-free during this time. It's much harder than you think, and it's in only an hour and a half window. But we must give our kids our full attention. They don't raise themselves. Rachel helped me see that far too often my body was present, but my mind hasn't been. And you know what? Just about everything that distracted me was not urgent and could wait. And just a side note that I didn't write about, I think sometimes when we don't give our kids attention after supper, they end up wanting to talk at bedtime, and then I get really stressed out and I yell at them because I want to get them in bed by a certain time. So I find that when we actually make time for conversations earlier in the evening, we've had a chance to connect, and then bedtimes aren't stretched out. So at the end of each chapter, there's a section called Reflection Questions. My favorite for this chapter was, have your distractions taken an undeserved position on your priority list? So I realized that the things that became automatic were distracting me from life with my kids. I want to watch movies with my kids, not next to them with a cell phone in my hand. I want to listen to their stories without muttering, uh-huh, mm-hmm, and then rushing them so I can get back to what I was doing or reading. I want to be a good example to them so when they get gadgets one day, they don't treat me the way that I'm treating them. I love that this book outlines potential problems, asks self-reflection questions, and gives specific ideas on how to be more intentional. I hope someone reading this or listening to this might see themselves in what I'm saying. Please stay tuned as I continue to take you through this book chapter by chapter and share what I've been reading. Thanks so much for swinging by.